Washington.
Hello.
And today we're going to be talking about her book. She just came out with a new book. My Baby Daddy's Getting Married. Steps to Repair a Broken Heart. So, we're just going to kind of get into that. So, tell us about where you're from.
Well, I'm originally from Newark, New Jersey. By way of Greenville, I went to high school in Greenville, North Carolina.
Oh, really? Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I really didn't know that.
Really?
Yes. You went to what college?
I went to North Carolina Central, where I obtained my bachelor's degree and my master's in family consumer sciences.
Mm-hmm.
And I went to Liberty University, where I obtained my counseling degree.
Oh, okay. So how was school for you?
I love North Carolina Central University, and I also enjoyed Liberty as well.
Yeah.
Kind of different feel.
Okay.
Two different colleges.
Okay, what about high school? How was high school for Kia?
Transitioning from New Jersey, I definitely would say it definitely was a transition. I often cried. I did not want to live in North Carolina.
Why?
Because I'm from New Jersey. I was used to going to the store by myself, being able to, whatever my mom needed me to go to the store, I can do it myself. But we stayed like 2 or 3 miles from the store. There was no way I could ride a bike to a store.
And y'all said we were slower down here, right?
Yeah, I didn't want to say that,
But you just did.
I didn't want to say that, but
Okay.
it was kind of slower movement.
Mm-hmm.
You couldn't get on the bus to go places, and you couldn't walk to the store.
Got you. But it was less violent too.
Yeah, it was. So I am so grateful for being able to move from New Jersey to North Carolina, and we moved to a state that's really focused on college, everything, football, basketball.
Yeah. Yeah, you're right. But I mean, even growing up, I'll say for me, like me growing up, I didn't really think about college. I heard it a little bit, but I never saw it as an option for me. And so, like, I remember in high school, like near the end, my mom was like, "Hey, you either go to school or getting out." So I was like, "Oh, I guess I go. I guess I go to college."
Well, I mean, for me, I always knew that that was something that I wanted to do.
Yeah.
I always actually wanted to be a lawyer.
Oh, really?
Mm-hmm.
Wow. Okay. Mm-hmm. Well, that's dope. So, you're in college and you go to school for all the things that you're doing now. And so, how is this playing a part now in your later life? Because a lot of people go to college, they get degrees, and then they're not even in that field. So, how was it, getting into your actual field?
Well, college is definitely different into going in. Once you finish college, it's like you're in the real world.
Yeah.
A lot of things you learned in college you may not use. I'm being honest.
Yeah.
And I was just blessed enough that God had ordered my steps where I was working in the mental health field. I worked in a coffee shop at first, and I met someone, and they said that they knew someone in the mental health field, and then that's how it's all about networking and connecting with people.
Definitely.
So I meet no strangers, so.
Yeah. So, you got in the mental health field, why?
I got into the mental health field. It's really crazy. I'm going back to when I was in high school. My mom, I told my mom I wanted to be a lawyer, and my mom said to me, "Why don't you be a counselor?" Because I always had my friends, they would always come to me, and I was always like the middle person to kind of like ease things and kind of get advice from.
And I'm asking that because I would say I haven't really heard too much about mental health until recent years. Where it's becoming this big thing. It's like everyone is about mental health and mental health.
Well, it's because a lot of people are committing an increase of suicide, and I think as the African American culture, we're more aware of it. Before it was like, just go to the pastor, just everything's gonna be all right, and just brush the symptoms. Yeah,
they're just crazy.
I would use that word, but
hey, we use that word. I'm like, hey,
yeah, or just go to your pastor and everything's gonna be fine. But some people need the spiritual They need the mental, and some people do need to take meds. That's just that's just what it is.
Really? You really believe that?
Yes, I really believe that.
I agree.
It depends on it depends on the severity of things. Like some people need meds, and some people need the meds and the counseling and the spiritual aspect of things.
Yeah. So you really believe counseling has helped people, or your counseling has helped people before?
I really do. I really do. And with counseling, a lot of people think that it's telling you what to do. It's not necessarily telling you what to do. It's just kind of having you think about your life and you think about some of the actions in a different way.
Yeah.
And actually coming out of your mind and talking about it. Because a lot of people are trapped in their mind with thoughts of wanting to harm themselves, thoughts of low self-esteem, and they don't have no one to talk to. So they come to therapy, they get it out, they process, and then when they begin to talk about it with a therapist, then they realize, wow, why am I thinking like this?
Yeah.
And then the therapist helped them with techniques to change their mindset, to help change their mindset. But they got to be willing to change.
Yeah. And I think a lot of people, different people have been doing counseling or therapy for years. I used to get a lot of people, I would say more so girls, right? Who would call me and I would get all of their history, everything. Or so whatever problem it is, they feel like they can come to me and I can kind of either guide them or just see things from another perspective. So I think this type of thing had been going on. I guess we didn't know what the label of that is. Right?
Or we were scared to say it's counseling, but it is.
Yeah, it is.
A lot of when ladies go to the beauty parlor or the stylist, they're talking about their lives. When men go to the barbershop, they're talking about what's going on with them. So in the black community, it's like they're scared to say I'm going to a doctor, or they'll say shrink. So but they've been doing this. They just been doing it with someone that's not licensed.
Yeah, but I think I find it where it's always easier to talk to the other sex. You don't think so? Because check this out, guys. We're not vulnerable with one another. We're not fully opening up about what it is we feel, because a lot of times we might not feel, or we're not. I'll say for myself, a lot of times I'm not aware of what I feel until later. It's like mine is like a delayed response. Like in the moment, something might not make me upset, but if I think about it a little bit later, then I'm burning up. You know what I mean? And or if it's the other way, I feel, I don't know, euphoric, whatever. It's like I'm not really expressing that to my homeboy like that. Or I will find another way to say it, maybe. You know what I mean? And a lot of times,
so what I hear you say is that
I think you're doing therapy on me right now.
I didn't want to say. No, but
she's trying to. She's giving me a little therapy.
We got an audience.
Help me. It's cool.
But what I hear you say is, you done got me all over
boy.
What I hear you say is you have trouble with expressing your feelings. Right? To a certain degree. But that's
not really.
But that's most men though.
I think I can. No, what I'm saying is
you don't want to be vulnerable.
I'm just saying men in general, not necessarily me. We don't easily become vulnerable with our homeboy.
But that's because of society, what they have on us roles. Because they say a man shouldn't cry. That's a show of weakness.
Yeah. Definitely, but I don't know if it's necessarily taught. I mean, maybe it is. I can't say it's not taught. It is taught. But for me, I think I got to talk from my perspective, right?
Okay, the perspective.
Like I remember the feeling of feeling weak, right? So like this was years ago. I was in high school, And my girlfriend and I, like, you really get into it, right? And so, like, she left hickeys on my neck. You gotta keep it real. So, like, my mom and them saw it, and it was like, oh, really? Well, you can't talk to her for like a month. And I remember, I never forget, I was in my room. My dad was, they was just telling me, like, you can't talk to her or whatever. And I remember crying in front of my dad, right? And I remember, like, at that moment, feeling like just really weak and, like, almost at his mercy. And I'm like, I don't want to feel this again. And so, for years, I just, like, stuff would happen, I just want to cry. It's like, I'm just not doing that, and...
So, at that point, you saw that as a sign of weakness because you...
Yeah, at that moment, yeah.
And that kind of, like, scarred you.
I
in
guess.
a sense. It did.
Yeah.
It did.
Yeah. And so, like, yeah, like, even now, it's like, I can kind of be... it's gonna sound bad, but like heartless in a sense, like,
because you don't want to be vulnerable.
Yeah, I guess
you're scared to be vulnerable in front of people, and also, like I said, society has it where males, your role is you're the strong one. Yeah. You're not supposed to cry in front of people, and you're supposed to be stern, or even if something hurts you, you're not supposed to show it because you're a male.
Yeah,
but that's not how it is. You're human.
Yeah, I guess. Yeah. It's gonna take a lot. Last time I cried was actually when Pastor died.
Oh, okay.
And that was 3 years ago.
Yeah.
So, I don't know. But enough of me. So look, we have this book here.
Okay.
My baby dad's getting married. So people want to know.
Okay, what do they want to know? What do the streets want to know?
Someone who doesn't, know you. Now, why you write this book about your baby daddy?
This book right here is a book of healing, because I get a lot of women that come in. Even I've had some males too that come in my office and have not healed from past relationships, and they move that hurt on to their children, or they be withdrawn and don't want to get to the next relationship, or they may move on to a next relationship but still haven't healed, which causes problems for them. This book is about healing. A lot of people think of it, you're going through the grief. I talk about going through the grieving process. When you think of grief, a lot of people think about someone dying. They don't think about the loss of a relationship.
So you've experienced this before? That's why you're able to write it, or are you writing it based on people that you've counseled?
I'm writing it on experience that I've had, and experience that a lot of people that I counsel, a lot of women that I encounter, broken women, from relationships.
So, when have you had to? I can't say use these steps because you're the one that wrote it, but when did you learn you had these steps you had to go through? When was the heartbreak? So if you're saying it's not like autobiographical, since it's based on healing and the steps toward healing, when were you in a situation where my heart is broke?
Well, I would say I had to use this when I broke up from a relationship from my son's father. Okay. And it wasn't necessary. I don't even think it's necessarily the relationship, but it is the point of being single and having a child. So you broke up with a relationship from that person, but now from that relationship you have a child. So it's not just like me breaking away from a regular relationship. You still got to see that person forever, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
And so a normal breakup, I'm not going to say normal breakup, but any other breakup is like, okay, all right, you and I are not together, and they go on with life. You may not see them for 20 years. Yeah. But this person, you're going to see them all the time. And you're going to have to know how to put your feelings aside and co-parent. And co-parenting is very important to the part of healing as well.
Yeah. So, tell us about that relationship. Like, how was the actual relationship?
From you talking about the beginning, or you talking about
beginning to like the end of it?
To be honest with you, from the beginning, I would say it was difficult for me because I've always wanted the the husband and the children later, and so it was kind of a little difficult because when I would go to church, I would see people with their families and stuff, and I would come into church with my baby. It was just me and Cameron. So I found it difficult. Not that I necessarily wanted that person, but I had longed for that relationship of having a husband, then the child.
Got you. Yeah, like the normal, I guess, structure we want to happen. I get it. So you saying you were heartbroken after the breakup, not necessarily because of you losing him, but because you wanted the
family, Family. And I know there's some people, more power to them, they wanted some people just want to have kids and but I wanted the picket fence, you know what I'm saying? What society has, but I mean I wanted that, the husband, the two kids and a dog, or 2 kids and a half or something like that.
And I want to say most people coming up, maybe our age, did kind of want that, that's almost what we were aiming for. So I get it. And dealing with heartbreak, how was you handling it during that time? Like, y'all break up, you're thinking about, now I have a child with this guy. Like, how did you handle the actual breakup and dealing with the father?
But like I told you before, the breakup is not what kind of hit me.
Got you.
The more the thing was wanting to have the whole the picket fence and the husband and the two and a half kids. So what really got me was when I went through postpartum, to be honest with you, when I had my son.
Oh, what's that? I don't know. I'm not really familiar. I heard of it, but I just explain it because everyone might not know.
So let me just kind of break it down. It's kind of like something that happens when after a woman has a child, and your hormones get out of balance. Think about it. You had this child in you for 9 months. First of all, your hormones are out of balance then. But then the child is gone, and then you experience all these feelings, and sometimes it leads to depression. And I can remember I had my son in October, and homecoming is always the end of October. North Carolina Central University, Eagle Pride, but Eagle Pride. Okay. But I had my son 3 weeks before homecoming, and I had one of my friends, and she called me. She said, "Hey kid, where you at? You coming?" And I had my son. I was going to Target, and I bust out crying, because I'm like, man, reality hit. I can't go to homecoming. I got a son. So I'm like, man. So I cried a couple of minutes, and then I was like, all right, let me go and get my child. And we, went on into Target. So it was adjustment for me too.
Yeah, I mean, guys, when they deal with breakup, I guess we deal with it different ways. Like, for me, I guess my last major relationship was like 2018, so it was like over 10 years ago. But for me, during that time, it was a very serious relationship. Like, I really wanted to marry this woman. Like, and we had dealt with so much during our relationship, and so like we broke up. Like, I had to break up with her. It's like, it's usually never the guy. Usually, most of the time it seems like it's the woman breaking up. But I just had.
I guess from your perspective too,
Yeah.
I always thought it was the other way around.
Really?
Oh yeah.
What, the guys are breaking up?
Yeah, guys will break up, or you catch them cheating.
Oh, help me, Lord. Well, yeah, but even if you catch them cheating, y'all break up with them, right?
Some do. Yeah. Some just keep them. So.
Yeah, that's true. But like, so like, I felt like I made a good decision during that time.
Okay.
I feel like I made the right decision. So like, I even met with some people, talked it over like, hey, this what I should do? Because like I didn't want to leave the relationship because like for me it was the perfect situation. Was like now you finally get your life right with God. You're trying to do everything right, and then here's this woman like they was teaching like, oh, God will send you this person this time, and so it's like everything like that. And so we're in this relationship, and I guess going back to not knowing exactly my feelings, like I guess I just was in love, and so when the breakup happened, I wasn't aware of everything I was feeling. I was like, I'm tired of this relationship now. We've been abstinent, so now it's just time to go out there and knock it out of the box. Just keep it real. Like, yeah, I'm just gonna, and so. And
because you was hurt from that relationship? Are you saying
like it was a lot of things. Like I didn't realize. That's what I'm saying. I didn't realize it till later when I started looking back. Like I started dealing with other women, and so, and then all of a sudden one day, my homeboy's wife asked me. She was like, "So, what if you saw such and such with another guy?" And then I realized how angry I would have been, and so then it's almost like. That question was a slap. It was like, it slapped me, and I was like, I woke up and was like, wow, like, I really love this girl. Now I want to let her go.
And in my book, I talk about the denial stage and sometimes what if, or for your case, it sounded like you did avoidance, and then it just kind of all hit you at once. Oh, yeah. In this book, I talk about doing a grief journal. Just expressing your feelings. Like if you had this book, even for males, if you had this book, you can write out how you feeling, and some of the questions will begin to you begin to really think about the relationship as a whole. Gotcha, yeah. And to see how things went down instead of like covering it up.
Yeah. And so that's what I was trying to do, and so that's good because now guys know y'all can go out and get this book as well. It's not just for ladies; it's for guys dealing with trying to repair that broken heart, because our hearts do break, and then we just deal with it in different ways. We do the avoidance thing, like you just saying. We go out and try to get as many girls as we can.
For males, like they don't want to be hurt again. They don't want to be what you call vulnerable. So what they do is they go out and deal with all these women because they don't want to be attached. They don't want to be hurt again. And women, and my mom and I talked about this. Women will just shut down. I don't want them. Because we don't want to be hurt. Yeah. But men, y'all shop around. I'm put it like that.
Oh, we're shopping.
Yeah, you shop around.
Shopping, the discounts, everything.
Y'all shopping around because you don't want to be hurt and you don't want to be vulnerable.
Yeah.
But when that right person comes around, you'll know it. And you'll be vulnerable with.
Yeah, I'm working on it.
I guess to a certain extent.
Yeah, I'm working on it. Yeah, I'm well, anyway, so let's skip me. Look, I'm doing all this talk about me, and now I'm talking about skip. But yeah, like I'm working on it. Me getting better, I guess.
But just like this, like we're talking and dialoguing, it's bringing some things that you notice about yourself. That's why I say therapy, counseling is very important, because it's really self-actualization. Like, what is it that I think I need to improve on? I ain't know all these years that, like you said, all these years I was just afraid to let people see me be vulnerable.
Yeah, well, sometimes as men we might not want to let it go either. Sometimes it take growing and then realizing and maturity and sometimes seeing other people doing it. It's kind of like, oh, okay. Like if they can do it, I'm sure I can. Kind of get there. So that's good. So you're doing the therapy now. You have your book out with the steps to repair the broken heart, and so you have this other book. for the 21 Days to a Balanced Life with Children. Tell us about this.
Okay. This book right here is basically work mom balance. Mm-hmm. It's about how to build a relationship with God, family, and career. Because sometimes as moms, we can get a little bit off balance. For example, if we do too much at work, we're neglecting home, we're neglecting God. And I love using questions, I love using journaling because it's a way to reevaluate your life. So it's 21 days where you go through a process of examining your life, examining your schedule, and how you can get that balance in your life. And not only that, this book also brings out that although we're moms, God created us for more than just being moms. You know, we're created to be. I'm created to be a therapist, or created to be a coach for moms or for women. And like you was created to be, you know, a photographer or a speaker, a motivational speaker. And so this book kind of just brings that out. I would say this book brings that out.
So what kind of questions are in the book to make people reflect? Yeah.
Well, one question is, it talks about what are you doing today? How have you tried to balance your life? What worked? What didn't work? And I think one thing for me is being prepared for the day. I always talk about this in my conference about having that relationship with God, starting off in the morning with worship, starting off with, you know, reading your Bible, starting off with motivational speaking, because you never know how your day is going to go. So you need to be equipped, and you need to have that relationship with God, and that it doesn't matter if somebody cuts you off. You ain't going to cuss them out, because you know what? I've been in worship. It's all right.
Or, yeah, okay. Yeah, well, I guess that would, it definitely would help, because, you know, sometimes people may not cuss them out, but in their head, oh, they're getting cussed out.
And then, you know, God will give us patience. And, you know, like I said, you just got to be ready for the day. A lot of people say, oh, my day bad. It started off really bad. But if we put the time in to get connected with God, it's like stuff that normally would make you mad and upset. You like, whatever. Yeah. Let's keep it moving. What's next? Come on.
Yeah, that's good. Okay, so we have 2 books.
Yep. And this book right here is $19.99, and this one right here is $14. And you can get this one on Amazon, or you can get this book through me, through I Am Lakia, or Lakia Washington on Facebook, or Lakia W on Instagram. Okay,
so you gave all your information. I didn't even have to ask, you know, for you to tell everyone. So I just want to say I appreciate it, you know, the time, and looking forward to more things that come from you, and hopefully I will go ahead and get some type of therapy in, so I can become.
And if you need counseling, you can. I'm here in Clayton. I have a private practice. I will travel. I will accept some insurances. The name of my practice is LW Therapeutics and Consulting. So not only do I provide therapy, but I also provide coaching. And I also have a mommy group on Facebook. It's called Mommy 365, where it's a networking support groups for moms.
Okay, so what insurances do you
Right now accept? I'm taking Cigna and in private pay, but I'm waiting for Blue Cross and Blue Shield, and we're believing in God in a few weeks it's going to come on up.
So hopefully that'll come through soon.
Yeah.
Well, okay. Well, we appreciate it. See y'all next time.